Welcome back to Wealth Wednesday. My name is Bryant Stone. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Polimeni Tax and Financial Group. Last week we talked about what's the differences between a traditional and a Roth IRA. This week we're going to dive a little bit into eliminating debt. That's a big topic. That's a big goal of a lot of clients of mine when we start talking about things that they're trying to accomplish, goals that they're trying to get to. A common thing is eliminating debt. So today what I'm going to talk about just a few things that are probably simple, but really need some focusing on for you to help yourself get out of debt if you do find yourself in debt. So let's just talk about first things that you can do to avoid getting yourself into debt. And one of those things is avoiding variable rate loans, variable rate credit cards. Now I do understand at times you do need to get a loan, whether it's to purchase a house, sometimes to purchase a car, purchase furniture, whatever it may be. But what you want to do when you're actually utilizing debt is making sure that you're getting the right type of debt, not getting yourself in a variable rate type of loan, because then what happens is, wherever interest rates are at that time, that variable rate interest rate is going to increase or decrease based upon that. And what's going to happen is you'll pay more or less interest based upon that variable rate interest rate, rather than if you got like a fixed rate type of loan. So if you ever need to find yourself getting yourself into debt or anything like that, like I said, once again, if it's to buy a house, car, furniture, whatever the case may be, try to make sure that you get yourself a fixed rate type of loan, okay? Another thing that you're going to want to do is to try to get yourself out of debt if you find yourself in debt is changing your lifestyle. Now, I know this can obviously be easier said than done, but just a few little things that you can do to change your lifestyle are taking an inventory of all the expenses you have, right? I know when I did that a few years ago, I found out that I was paying $10 on this subscription, $15 on that subscription, $20 on that subscription. And as you start to take the inventory, you'll see that these little minor expenses, which don't seem a lot, they start to add up. And then if you're trying to get yourself out of debt, this is not helping, right? So you're going to want to take an inventory of what your expenses are, find out things that you don't need, and then use those dollars to allocate to paying off debt. We talk about changing lifestyle, right? So another things that you can do to change lifestyle is possibly reduce eating out. Maybe limit that to only if you're going to special events or things like that. But try not to eat out as much. Obviously, if you don't eat out as much, you'll eat it at home. That'll save yourself money, and then that money that you can save, you can allocate that towards eliminating debt. Now, if you do find yourself in debt, some things or tips that you can use to get yourself out of debt is taking advantage of these, these 0% balance transfers, right? So if you find yourself, you got a, massive credit card debt, and you're like, man, how am I ever going to pay this off, right? I'm paying 25% interest. The majority of the payment that I make on this credit card goes towards paying off or goes towards interest. How am I going to get out of this debt? Take advantage of these 0% balance transfers that are out there. A lot of them will come in 12-month increments, 15-month increments, 18-month increments. And then what you could do is you can take a chunk of that debt, if not all of it, allocate it or transfer it to that 0% credit card, and then utilize and pay off that credit card in that 12 or 15-month period before that 0% expires. And then if you don't pay off that debt by that time, then utilize another 0% balance transfer. So then that way you're eliminating that debt a lot faster, and you're not paying as much interest as you are on higher percent credit cards. So once again, real simple stuff, but things that you're going to want to take advantage of, look into, so you can get yourself out of debt faster. Lastly, what we're going to want to talk about is what's called snowballing debt. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard that. Some of you may have not heard that, and some of you are like, what the heck that is? Snowballing debt simply means that, let's say that you're paying $25 extra on a credit card, $30 extra on another credit card, $40 extra on another credit card. And instead of doing that, what you're going to want to do is lower those payments to the minimums, and then take all that excess money that you're putting on those credit cards and allocate that money towards the smallest debt that you have. And then what will happen is you'll pay off that debt quicker, right? Because you're allocating all those extra dollars that you're putting out on all these different credit cards. You'll pay off that debt quicker. That debt will get eliminated, and then what you'll want to do is use, once again, all those extra premiums that you were paying, then allocate it towards the new debt. and then also take that minimum payment that you were paying towards that smaller debt and add that on as well to the newer debts that you have. Then that way you can, what we call snowball debt, pay it off a lot faster, get yourself out of debt, and then get you towards whatever your financial goals are, because you can't get yourself out of debt and then also plan for the future and try to hit your financial goals if you are in debt. So I hope that helps this week, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on. We'll talk to you again next week.